Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my AFL Fantasy round 9 team reveal, going through why some of these changes, etc., and how I'm sort of tracking with a lot of these guys, and how I've gotten, I think, relatively lucky compared to a lot of these guys. A lot of people in terms of holding on to one particular player, and also another player or another couple guys that are sort of just keeping on. So before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So starting from the top, you got, I should probably make this larger. Yet again, I do this like every video. So you have here Nick Dacos, huge game, huge from him, pretty much week in, week out, 115 average. I expect him to do something very similar. I won't be putting the captaincy on him because I think it's just better with Dacos, to be honest. I mean, not Dacos, on English, as he's a better option. But in the coming weeks, I think, especially against North and West Coast, you should see Dacos be captaincy material. He just has this like awkward like game times usually that I don't really like having a captain in the last game or something like that. And also he's a massive tag risk compared to like English. Stewart here has floated as a potential VC, but I just don't think he's not consistent. Like, I'd probably go Taranto over him anyway, but I'm wanting to take a risk with my VC, as I am banking on English going well, and I think a lot of people have English as their backup or potentially just their VC as a starter. And Stewart is a guy that I think can average 95 to 100, especially with how he's going, and he has an easier matchup against Richmond, and I think he could go 110 in this game, but I think there's a guy or some guys that could go 130, 140 in their game, so I'm willing to risk it on them. Will Day has Melbourne. This will be a tough matchup, but we've seen him against Geelong put up a 99. Against North, an easy opponent, he went 128. Western Bulldogs, a toughish opponent, he went 100. So I think with Will Day, you can sort of just expect a 90 to 100 point performance here and just sort of go with the crowd, as he has got 35% ownership. Then you come to Liam Duggan, and his ownership's gone up 0.02 after he's been named captain for their sides game against Gold Coast. And he's going to probably have, I think, 45 to 50% CBAs, as well as almost be on kickouts as well. And it just looks really amazing for his role at the moment, sort of similar to what Dawson had a couple weeks ago, where he was in the middle and also taking kickouts. So that really could help his scoring, and I'm just hoping for another ton, as his average is starting to go up. I mean, 93 in the last 3 and 95 in the last 5. I think he could push again and go big, and that will help because especially his last 3, and he is a pretty good pod at the moment, I think. Then you have Will Powell, a guy that I've traded in, and that's mostly because of his last 3 games. They're playing a very kick mark style of game, and if you look here, he's gone 127, 105, and here he had a 79, but he also had a concussion test in it. So I think if he didn't have the concussion test, he probably would have gone 90 plus, meaning that last 3 games would have been probably close to a 110 or 108, and that would have been huge. And I think he's sort of another player of difference that I'm going for. And then Cowan's just here because I want that in case of my VC down in the forward line. It is in case he does well, Cowan can be the captain and I can bank those points. Then we come here to Aitken, and he's in there just because I don't particularly, well, I needed some guy that I just needed to put the emergency on, and he's the last guy in the defense that I'm worried about, so he gets the emergency in case he drops like a 50 or 60, so that's the reason for that. And then you got Wilmot here, which will Wilmot will only come in if VC fails and Aitken fails as well, and then I can just put in Wilmot here, and that would be the case that Aitken probably goes like a 40 or something, that I'd chance it with Wilmot, as that's only going to be like 20 points at worst for that. And then you've got into the midfield, you've got Tom Green here at the M1, as he's gone 120 for the whole season and deserves that M1 based on his price now. And just hoping now with fixtures at Collingwood, St Kilda, Geelong, Richmond, North, and Freo enter the bye, he can go 115 or so plus and really be the premier midfielder for the year, I guess. Then at M2 just by 2,000 is Petrarca. Had a disappointing game, so he's got a big break even. If we look at Petrarca here, he's got a break even of 122, but he's a guy that I've thought about putting a VC on. Crazy, because he's got Hawthorn, and Hawthorn are renowned for giving up very big midfield points, and they're playing at the MCG, so I think he could easily kick 3 goals even in this game and have 30 touches and pick up a 140, 150. But I think there's another guy that I really want to risk it on, and Petrarca I don't want to risk it on particularly. So that's the reason behind it. Then Bont won't get the VC, I don't think, at the moment, because I need the safety of the English, basically, who's had a low of a 99, and then the next lowest is a 111 from him. So I need the safety of that. So I don't want to go with Bont this week. So that's the reason for that, even though Bont's averaging 107. So that's, and just hoping that he does something similar. He's got a pretty good run into the bye as well. But I mean, he's pretty much untaggable. So it's whatever Bont wants to put up on the night. Then you've got Rosie here, and he's got a really good matchup as well. And then tough matchup, good matchup, good matchup. Good matchup against Western Bulldogs, I think. And then a tough matchup, but it's at Adelaide Oval, so should soften the blow there against Geelong into his bye round. And he's someone that I'm probably looking at moving on for a premier midfielder in the round 15 bye, unless he starts picking it up, as we've seen 95-81. We've seen some very, very inconsistent results from him. And I think it's time we sort of move him on to get like a Laird or a Dawson or something around that bye round. As if we look here at Dawson, what's his bye round? They've got around 14, so that is perfect. That they will be out of their bye by the time that plan comes up. Then you've got Warple here, 711k, just hoping that he continues on and doesn't drop. He's got a 72 break even, so hoping he doesn't drop a bad game. Just get another 80 or something like that and get that cash still rising. I mean, he drops a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He drops a 71 out of his rotation, so he should be able to, if he has a 90 or 85 game, to have a break even of like 80 again, and that'll be enough for him to potentially go up towards that 750k, and that makes it easier with the likes of a Mitchell or someone else like that to be able to get Warple up to someone huge. Then we got Ashcroft here. He just needs to continue on. He does have 2 games at the Gabba, and he's renowned for going well at the Gabba, so hopefully he can go and score really well in these 3 games here. And then probably, I don't know what I'm going to do with those guys in the round 12 bye, whether it might just be for that round 12 bye for me to get some rookies and really start just getting cash off field. But I mean, that'll come with those bye rounds. Then you got here, Ollie Holland was touted that he might get a rest this week, but he's got an absolute tank, so he won't get rested anytime soon, hopefully. And I mean, he's got a break even of, I believe, is it 30 odd? We'll see here, 32, so hopefully he can just go another 70. Another 70 would get him up probably towards that 525, 530 range. He might even push 550, 560 before we have to trade him out, and that could easily get us up to another sort of 700k guy that you can sort of push after the buys and hope that they go 100 after the buys and have huge scoring. Then you got Chincotta here as well, just continuing on. And I'm pretty sure he's got the lowest break even. Yeah, minus 12. So we just need to see him. I'm hoping he has a massive game here and has like a 95 or something like that. And that can help him go up by another 70k. And really, he could push towards that 500k mark before the buys. And that would be huge. Earland, hopefully he comes back, as I mentioned in the cash cows. I suspect he could come back when Akins gets dropped eventually, but we don't know. He was training with the first team squad, so he is sort of in and around I think he's probably top 26 now at Gold Coast, so comfortably, so I think he's fine and will sort of grow into it. I mean, he's averaging 48, so he won't be the pick next season either, I don't think. Then you have Drury here. I brought him in to just keep cash gen going, especially with Phillip, who sort of hasn't really moved in the last like 4 or 5 weeks, and Davey the same as well. So trying to just get more cash gen in. as that seems to be the big difference as compared to some other teams. There's a lot of teams in that top 10k that are very stumped with cash gen, like they have Pedler, Chandler, etc. like that, and a very bad bench. So I'm just hoping that if I can just keep on cycling out guys that are done with their cash gen, I can continue on to keep pushing up the rankings and get my team actually sorted a little bit earlier and with better quality players. Then you've got here Tim English. Glad that I brought him in. When did I bring him in? I must have brought him in here as he's gone. I think he's gone 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 9, 99, 151. So that's absolutely perfect. I brought him in at like 960k and he's gone up 80k as well. So it's not like I've lost value at all. And I'm pretty sure if we look at even the last 3 games, he's gone 126 and last 5, 129. That's above his average. So, I mean, that's perfect. And he's the best player in the comp at the moment, fantasy-wise. Marshall, I'm pretty sure passed his fitness test today. So that's fine and that's perfect. And I suspect he'll go big against, well, he hasn't Riley O'Brien, that's tough. But then if he's fine by the GWS game, you might also put a VC or just captain on that, depending on the timing, as Flynn's giving up massive points. I mean, he gave up 150 to English, and he gave up 130 to Laddams a week before, and something else. It's like he's giving up 10 or 15, I think it's something like 20 or 25 points above the Ruckman's average for points-wise. Then Samson Ryan is a couple of weeks away from being gone from my team. And I'll look at the Port guy, the 200k Vastinti or something. And that'll be the option as that he looks close. And or you could look at McAndrew or something like that because he's been potential. But I think Laddams will be fine by next week. And Hickey's back this week. So I don't think he gets a chance there at all. So we'll be waiting on that when Nank comes back. I'll probably give him 1 week with Nank and then trade him. But that's certainly something that I'm looking into. Then you've got Taranto here just keeping on, going 118 this year. Been absolutely huge. Glad that I went him over Cogs. Now looking at it, that was a dumb call in preseason. But, I mean, he's 997k. If he has a good game, he's going to ton up. I mean, he's going to go into millions, and that'll be huge. Then you have Dunkley here with a huge game. He could also go into the high 900s. I mean, if he goes 170 again, he'll go, like, towards that 970k range. And he'll also drop a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll drop an 80, so he'll probably have a break-even of, like, 40 or 30 if he went 170 again, but I don't suspect that. Then, as you can see here, I've got the VC on Goulden at the moment, and I think that's just solely due to their style of play now. He's got that really good wing role at the Swans, and sort of similar to Fiorini in that he's one of the first guys into the contest. Plus, the Swans like to, at the moment, they're not using the corridor as much, and they're very, very much switching it and just they're keeping one side completely open, and it seems to be Goulden's wing quite a lot, and he's getting huge mark numbers, and he's also a guy that gets pretty much his tackles every game, or enough tackles. So he went 17 marks tackles, 11, 8, 7, 11, 7, and we're looking at 8.5, and I'm pretty sure just by thinking about that, I think he's around that marker of 8.5 or 9. I'm going to say he's around 9 per game of marks and tackles, and he's getting relatively enough like kicks and handballs, but I think he's getting a lot better and not going to concede 4 free kicks again, I don't think. And I think he's got the good matchup in Freo. Then we go on to Zeeble here. Just keeping on with him. 168, not going to drop him or not going to trade him out. Just hoping Port Adelaide will be a tough matchup, I think, for him. But, I mean, hoping for 100 or so just from him. And same with Sheasel, to be honest. These two can just be paired together as they're doing pretty much the same exact thing. I mean, Sheasel is, if it loads, 105 and Zeeble is 104.8. So they're 19, is he ranked 18th, 19th and 18th best players fantasy-wise in the comp, and just continuing on. Then you have McPherson, my pick from last week, and pretty happy with him, especially because I think he's going to be huge in the buys. I think, and even this game against West Coast Eagles, I think he could go absolutely huge there. Then he has Brisbane at the Gabba, and that'll be an interesting game. Then he's got Western Bulldogs and Adelaide, then the bye, and then he's got this huge game against the Hawks in round 15, which could be absolutely huge for fantasy, as that'll be, for a lot of people, that'll be their tough bye round, and I have McPherson, who's a guy who can score 100 plus quite easily. Then Mitchell, a guy that I'm looking to probably move on in the next couple of weeks. I hope he holds for these 3 games here. And at least then, because then that'll be him at around 450, 500, probably not 500k due to his, I think his break even's like 30 or 25 this week. But hopefully he can push towards that 430, 440 sort of K range and move him out, gain 250k or so, and put that on to the likes of a Ashcroft or even a Warple. If I get 50k in the bank and Mitchell's 240, then I can pretty much get any midfielder, such as like a Brayshaw or something like that, and really push that top end and get towards that like 5 uber premium midfielders and a couple of mid prices and 1 rookie left on ground. That would be sort of the plan. And then Noah Long's coming back, and his cash gen, I'm pretty sure if we look here at Long, I'm pretty sure his break even's pretty low as well. 13 break even, and he constantly scores 50 odd. So I'm really happy with how he's going at the moment. And then you have Campbell Chesser here as well, 230k, and my game's like breaking, I swear. And he had a 51, so I mean his break even's got to be pretty low surely. Chesser here has break even of 9, so whenever he comes back, I think it'll be next week, he could gain some good cash as well and almost be a new rookie, and that'll be really helpful. So that's it. And you can see here my trades this week. Davey has break even of, I believe it might be 48. It's like high 48 for Davey. And then if we go to Philippou, his break even is 47. So am I really losing anything from getting Philippou out now with the 427? If say he goes and gets another 70, like that'll be like what, 10k or so. And Davey's probably not going to hit his break even. Whereas if I trade out Wilmot, who has a 48 or whatever, it's just more cash, and I have the ability to actually make these trades if I go Philippou rather than Wilmot, and that's the sole reason behind it, I think. And yeah, that's basically it for the video. So if I go back to that screen, that's the video of my team preview for round 9. And I'll see you guys in the game reviews on Sunday. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.